120 days of a bitter Ghana under President John Dramani Mahama. As we've already been told by the national organizer yesterday, Mr. President marked his own script, a script that the questions were set by him, and after that, he gave himself a mark. This morning, we are here to expose all the lies, the falsehood, and the inconsistencies. We call it NDC's Great Deception, from their own social contract to a social collapse. 120 days of bitter government under John Dramani Mahama. In the lead up to the 2024 general elections, candidate John Dramani Mahama released a document titled Mahama's First 120 Days Social Contract. It was marketed as a sacred pledge, a hard-coded promise to the Ghanaian people, time-bound and specific. It was designed to inspire trust, rekindle hope, and restore the image of a party that was seeking for another opportunity to rule this country. The NDC promised to scrap taxes like COVID-19 levy. They pledged to ban illegal mining, slash import duties, revive industrialization, launch mass employment programs, hold public officials accountable, increase cocoa prices. Not the least, they promised the people of Ghana a 24-hour economy under 133, one job, 3 shifts. Then on January 7, 2025, standing before the Republic, His Excellency declared, quote, "I intend to tell you the truth," end quote. He claimed he would act with, quote, "decisiveness and restore," quote, "faith in institutions and initiate what he called a national reset." But after 120 days of his presidency, the truth is brutally clear. The social contract was a political bait and a switch, a glossy list of promises not meant to be fulfilled, but merely to be flaunted, exploited, and forgotten. 1, the taxes remain. 2, contractors remain unpaid. 3, illegal mining rages on, no state of emergency in sight. 4, industries continue to suffer. 5, unreliable power supply, what I call Doomsor Pro Max, is unfolding. Further, the job creation pledges have turned into press releases without action. The cocoa prices, the farmers who were promised that 3,000 per bag of cocoa was going to increase to 6,000 per bag, have also been disappointed. And the slight stability of the cedi, now claimed as the Mahama miracle, is nothing more than a byproduct of a weakening US dollar on the global stage. This, fellow Ghanaians, is not a matter of political disagreement. It is a matter of deliberate national deception. And as you are well aware, this is not just a speech. It is a call to remembrance and resistance. It is a forensic audit of the presidency that campaigned with the agency of a reformer, but now governs with the indifference of a ruler long exhausted by ideas. I dare say that the lame dark days of President John Dramani Mahama has already started. Today, What we urge Ghanaians to do is to rise up to defend the Republic. And above all, what is happening today is a clear warning. And we will not sit quietly while the will of the people is traded for political convenience. Now the 120 days are over. The promises have collapsed. The excuses have run dry. The reckoning must begin. Let it be said plainly to every Ghanaian. You were not given a reset. You were sold a recycled failure. And now the clock has run out. Accountability must take center stage. Let history record this moment, not as a dawn of renewal, but as a day the veil of betrayal was torn away. Now, let me give you the details. The promise of constitutional fidelity. Today, the executive has broken this promise. What we experience now is executive lawlessness. On his inauguration day, His Excellency vowed, quote, "I shall strive to exercise sound judgment and be willing to act timelessly to resolve our challenges," end quote. But when faced with a clear breach of Article 286, when his appointees failed to declare their assets before taking office as constitutionally required, he did not act lawfully. He invented a bizarre punishment, a 3-month salary forfeiture, no referral to the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, no investigations, no accountability. What the president did was not a legal remedy. It was a constitutional betrayal. By failing to uphold the law, the president brought his own oath and the entire presidency into disrepute. Now they also pledged of security. They themselves, by their own actions, have undermined this through their neglect and the military politicization. In his inaugural address, Mr. President personally said that he was going to secure our sub-region and, quote, "We must work together to keep our sub-region safe," end quote. Yet under his own watch, Boku bleeds. Boku bleeds. The president offers neither decisive intervention nor compelling empathy. I repeat, today, Boku bleeds. The president and his government offer neither decisive intervention nor compelling empathy. Instead, this government has destabilized our armed forces, pegging seasoned, loyal, and trusted officers and replacing them with partisan subordinates. The fact is, the government is not protecting the state. The government is politicizing its spine. A commander-in-chief who weakens his own forces in a time of crisis is not a leader, we dare say. Environmental commitment eclipsed by Galamsey retreat. President Mahama promised Ghanaians that he would act decisively and swiftly as our country's leader. In his might-trumpeted social contract with the people of Ghana, President Mahama solemnly pledged, quote, "Ban illegal and new mining activities in forest reserves, roll out our Tree for Life and Blue Water Initiative to heal and sustainably harness the environment," end quote. And yet, illegal mining has flourished under his silence. Foreign nationals caught in Galamsey operations are deported, not prosecuted. Contrary to the campaign promises, the promised repeal of the LI 2462 remains unfulfilled. The rivers continue to run red. The forests are gashed open. And the president who accused Nana Akufo-Addo's administration of inaction on illegal mining and promised decisive action offers excuses. The government's inaction on illegal mining is not just disappointing, it is a betrayal. While in opposition, the NDC loudly declared that if elected, they would impose a state of emergency to confront Galamsey head-on. But 120 days into the government, not only have they failed to do so, that they have completely abandoned the agency they once preached. Illegal mining continues to devastate our rivers, poison our land, and displace entire communities. The promised state of emergency has vanished, replaced by silence and inaction, while the sector minister sheds crocodile tears on national television over a sorry state of our rivers, forests, and farmland. This is not leadership. This is not leadership. It is cowardice dressed in empty campaign rhetoric. It therefore came without a surprise to the people of Ghana when recently, on May Day, organized labor, speaking through its Secretary General, boldly condemned the extent to which Galamsey is destroying our environment. And to quote organized labor, Galamsey has worsened within the few months that the NDC assumed office. So all the 8 years that they said the MPP was unsuccessful in dealing with the Galamsey issue, today, organized labor is boldly telling us and saying it to the face of the NDC administration that within this short period of governance, the situation has worsened. I leave it to your judgment. Inclusivity abandoned. Mr. President promised the nation of a leadership of inclusiveness. Today, what we see is a massacre of livelihoods. In his inaugural speech, Mr. President declared, every Ghanaian has the opportunity to contribute to our nation's story, end quote. And yet, since taking office, his government has waged an unprovoked war on public and civil servants. Thousands of civil servants, especially the youth, have been dismissed, not for corruption and incompetence, but for getting employed by the state before his return to the presidency. In their place, party executives are being recruited. Teachers who were recruited and posted into remote communities to teach have been sent home. Nurses who were recruited and were in hospitals and at our health centers helping the poor have been sent home. Efforts to recruit more nurses have been put on hold. Those who graduated from nursing schools and expected to be posted are still at home, have become desperate. And we have a government that is rather creating more unemployment than employment. We say this is not inclusivity. This is not inclusiveness. This is ideological cleansing. This is not a present for all. It is a government for only the NDC. We have two Ghana now. Yes. The Ghana for the NDC, where only their party's foot soldiers enjoy, and the Ghana for others who must go through a bitter experience, pain, and misery. Youth empowerment has now reduced to a mere PR stunt. President Mahama told our youth on January 7th, quote, "This moment is a powerful affirmation that your voices matter. We are committed to creating opportunities for education, entrepreneurship, and employment," end quote. But those words now mock reality. The ambitious one student, one laptop policy of the MPP government has been shelved. In its place, a flashy, empty promises to train 1 million youth in coding without equipment, personnel, or infrastructure. Did we go or did we come? Governance has been reduced into theatrics. and empty promises. Today, we, the mighty minority, boldly remind the President that the digital transformation cannot be downloaded onto our national digital network by beautiful speeches and launching ceremonies. And Ghana's youth deserve tools, not talking points. I repeat, the youth of Ghana deserve tools, not talking points. Now, power sector sabotage. From light to darkness. From light to darkness. When Ghanaians say, let there be light, the NDC say, let there be darkness. So we have a Doomsaw Pro Max. Darkness, darkness, darkness. Mr. President promised to fix Ghana's energy crisis. He accused his predecessor of failure. Although NPP came to meet Doomsaw and fixed the Doomsaw, yet during the campaign, Mr. President and his party rather accused NPP of not keeping the light on. But let's all be honest with ourselves. The last 120 days, we have seen persistent power outages, low voltage, and silence in the face of national inconvenience. Not a single moment, a single day, has the energy minister addressed the Ghanaian people on the energy crisis. Where is the energy minister? Is he lost in this darkness? We are taking a torchlight looking for the energy minister. We cannot find the energy minister. Mr. Energy Minister, where are you? Bring back our lights. The emerging power crisis during the second term of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama obviously will be deeper, and it appears that it's going to be darker and deadlier. Across the country, businesses are gradually grinding to a halt, industries are scaling back production, and hospitals are struggling to save lives without consistent electricity. Yet they go to the hospitals and all they know is sacking the chief executives. Sack them. Sack them. Sack them. That is all that the ministers are doing. Targeting chief executives and sacking them instead of putting on the lights. Home appliances are burning out. Livelihoods are vanishing. And the national mood is collapsing under the weight of government inaction. What we are seeing today is not intermittent disruption. It is a national emergency. And yet, the Mahama administration continues to offer excuses instead of solutions. Instead of resolving the problems, he recites blames like a broken record. Ghanaians deserve lights, not lectures. Leadership is action, not endless lamentation and blame game. Mr. President, NDC government, bring back our lights. You were not elected to lament. You were elected to do the work and fix the lights and fix the problem. You promised in your sonar that you were going to fix the problems. You are not fixing the problems. Fix the problems. Now, assault on the judiciary, the rule of law under siege. His Excellency promised, quote, reset the faith in leaders and institutions, end quote. I repeat, His Excellency promised reset of faith in leaders and institutions. But what do we see? He has instead launched a chilling offensive against the judicial independence, attempting to hound the Chief Justice out of office under contrived pretexts while pushing through a 7 hand-picked appointment to the Supreme Court. It has never happened in our democracy where the president makes a direct appointment and more or less coerces the Judicial Council to swiftly, whether they like it or not, approve of same. The practice has always been that nominations are made by various stakeholders. The Ghana Bar has an input. The Office of the Chief Justice has an input. The Judicial Council itself has an input. The government, the president acting through the Attorney General makes an input. And all these names are deliberated upon, discussed in detail, and a recommendation ferried to the president for further action. May I refer the government to the matter of Ghana Bar Association versus Attorney General, where Thaddeus Sori, the lead counsel for Ghana Bar, made strong arguments on this matter. It was a situation where the Judicial Council had made some recommendations in a certain order of merit for the president to exercise the discretion of appointment. And even so, the Ghana Bar questioned the exercise of discretion and argued, among others, that since there was an order of merit upon which the recommendation was mounted, the president couldn't have chosen from the bottom. Because we have my Lord Mafosau, we had Professor Henrietta Mensah Bonsu, followed by my Lord Yawapao, and then lastly, Mr. Scott Poorman, as he then was. Yet the president chose from the bottom two. And Ghana Bar challenged this at the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled that, well, that recommendation was an advice. And to the extent that all of those four individuals were recommended to the president could choose from the bottom. The president could choose anybody and was not bound by the order of merit. So clearly, a procedure, a practice as to how a justice of the Supreme Court is appointed is known. So why would the president write a letter that he's made appointment and urges that upon the Judicial Council to, at all costs, approve of same? This is very rich. The president and his government are not on a journey of reform. They are doing court packing. This is dictatorship disguised as democracy. And we, the minority, will not stand for it. Now, they are silencing dissent. The return of iron fists. They promised that they will allow free speech. But today, even political opponents are threatened. They will send their attack dogs on radio. When they think that you are being critical of them, they start to threaten you. Even journalists come under attack. The Secretary General of TUC, who boldly echoed the views of organized labor, is under attack. Even the views expressed by GBA also came under attack. And then they find a way of using social media to spread fake news and falsify information and crush genuine views expressed to shape governance. But let me remind Mr. President that in his own inaugural address, he called for accountability and promised to fight corruption. Yet, as I've already said, journalists are being harassed. Opposition MPs, like my brother John Intim-Fodjo, recently became a target because he had raised a critical national issue, which required the security agencies to engage constructively. They personalized it, and they made him a target. It was an eyesore when they unleashed NIB officials at his residence, wielding guns and wearing masks. Did we go or did we come? What we are experiencing is another vendetta, and this is not justice, an opportunity for all Ghanaians, rather persecution. They promise constitutional reform, but we don't trust them. What they are doing is not constitutional reform, but they are attempting to create a Trojan horse for perhaps, if not lifetime presidency, a third-term presidency. Already, we have heard the national chairman of the NDC complaining bitterly about the internal struggle for succession. The NDC is abandoning governance and rather thinking of their party interests. Why would the national chairman, no less a person than Mr. Asedu Nketia, boldly go on radio in less than 90 days be talking about that internal problem? We are also aware that another group in the NDC are pushing for a third term for President Dramani Mahama. It's a reason why, instead of the promised governance and constitutional reforms, we are seeing a new agenda. What we know is that there is a sinister and diabolical plot firmly underway to tighten the president's grip on power and prolong his days in office. So they knew that the firmness of the Chief Justice will not allow this. So they started to unleash the attack dogs on the Chief Justice to try and clear out of the way so that they will have their way. But we, the minority, today tell the NDC government they will never have their way. We see diabolical schemes. We read the signals. And we say this clearly. Ghana is not a monarchy. We will not be ruled for life. We will not let one man's desire for autocracy and unchecked power rewire the constitution to suit the ambitions of a desperate party. So the hawks in the NDC, who are so power drunk and are pushing through this third-term agenda, let them stay their hands. The other hawks in the NDC, who are thinking succession and are not making it possible for the president to govern, and all they care about is their internal struggle for who succeeds him, we are telling them too that they are hurting the country. The government has already entered its lame dark days, looking at all the signs on the wall. This is affecting the ordinary people, and they should wake up to the reality of their bona fide governance. Governance. Governance.